Got a little bit of country coming up for you on Billboard's Hot 100, May 13th, 1967. We'll talk about this record. But before I do, let's read the top 5 hits from that week. Hot 100. God, Billboard's Hot 100. God, I could just study these things all day long. I'm not kidding. I mean, number 5 that week of May 13th, 1967, A Little Bit Me, or A Little Bit You, A Little Bit Me, written by Neil Diamond, covered by the Monkees. Actually, I believe Davy Jones was the only monkey who performed on that record, the session on that record. Number 5, down from number 4, and Groovin' by the Young Rascals. Boy, the chart action. Check out the chart action on this record from 79 to 49 to 19 to number 4. It will go to number 1. Something Stupid by Frank and Nancy Sinatra. Nancy Sinatra at number 3. And Sweet Soul Music, one of my favorite expressions when I get those Sweet Soul records. Number 2 by Arthur Conley. The Happening by the Supremes at number 1 on Billboard's Hot 100. Let's go all the way down to number 94. I Can't Help It If I'm Still in Love with You by B.J. Thomas at number 94. It debuts at number 94. It will not get any higher than number 94. Number 94 on Billboard's Hot 100. A Hank Williams song. B.J. Thomas, from near Houston or raised in Houston, Texas. When he was in high school, he formed a rock and roll band called the Triumphs. The Triumphs competed against another local group called the Trades, which was led by a guy named Roy Head. B.J. Thomas became friends with Roy Head when he was a senior in high school. You may remember Roy Head had that hit "Treat Her Right" back in 1965. So you got B.J. Thomas, head of the Triumphs, and Roy Head, the head of the Trades, their bands, having the Battle of the Bands competition back in the early 60s, way down there in the Lone Star State of Texas. First album, 1966, B.J. Thomas, I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry. Hank Williams song, and Mama came out after that. Mama was a powerful record. It was about, well, I guess it's kind of a cheesy record, but it's just so powerful in its own way. B.J. Thomas gets married, and he leaves his mother behind. His mother's kind of just real sad, and it's just one of those rite of passages that a lot of people go through. Later on, he became really big in the late 60s. Eyes of a New York Woman, one of my favorite B.J. Thomas records. Summer of 68, and then Hooked on a Feeling. Massive hit. Top 10, written by Mark James. Mark James, who also wrote Suspicious Minds, which became a hit record for Elvis. But I tell you what, those royalty checks must have rolled in for Mark James back in 1968, 69. These major artists covering his records. Rock and Roll Lullaby. That was a beautiful record by B.J. Thomas back in 1972. But let's move it back to 1966. B.J. Thomas, I don't know which album this is from. I couldn't get the total title listings from each of these albums. It could have been from Songs for Lovers and Losers. That was his second album. His third album, no, that was his third album. His second album was Tomorrow Never Comes. It's from either one of those albums. Well, here's B.J. Thomas coming in at number 94 on Billboard's Hot 100. I Can't Help It If I'm Still in Love with You. Billboard's Hot 100, May 13th, 1967.